कि इस कॉन्फ्रेंस और आज की समसामयिक परिस्थितियों के विषय में आप
ये
लोगों से
शायद
चर्चा करें।
मुझे लगता है प्रेस वाला क्वेश्चन को पूछ के फिर प्रश्न पूछ के आंसर ही कर देते हैं, फिर कितने यूज करेंगे नहीं
Sir,
यूज करेंगे वो भी अलग।
I'm Pradeep Datta from Times Now TV channel.
जी।
A very simple question. How do you see the latest provocation from China side in Taiwan? India's strong response and your reaction to that?
No, I have always been saying that China is feeling very, very insecure. Because last year, August, I was in Ladakh, along the same places where the conflicts are going on. And last month, the month before that, in October, I was in Taiwan. So I have always sensed that the Chinese government is feeling very, very insecure. I have several reasons for this. One is that the Politburo members are very, very afraid of internal coup. So that is why there has been this rule within the leadership that not more than 3 members of the Politburo can meet without the express permission of the president. So why they are doing this? Because they are afraid of internal coup. And then Xi Jinping also made sure that the army generals are posted every year so that they don't build better relations with the cadres. So military coup is also out of the question. Then China must be the only country who spends more money on internal security than external security. Now you also think over it. The places where they are, engaging in unprovoked belligerence against China, against India, no people live in those areas. Then why do they keep doing this, irritating the Indian government? That is because if there is threat to the Communist Party in China, then they will attack one of these places, whether it's India or Taiwan or South China Sea, so that they can build nationalism within China so that communism does not fall. But this is a wishful thinking of the Chinese government. And it does not help anybody, because with these kind of activities against India, I think it will take many, many years for the Chinese government and the people to gain the trust of the Indian government and the Indian people. And that's not good for everybody.
And how do you see the strong response, whether it was Galwan, whether it's Tawang, by the Indian troops?
If China continues to think that India is as weak as India used to be in 1962, then they are wrong. Because India has developed so much over the decades.
Political party leaders, even Rahul Gandhi, they start doubting valor of our troops. What will be your message to such politicians? Yeah.
See, development, the kind of infrastructure development that has taken place inside Tibet by the Chinese government, because they follow this thinking that if you have to protect the borders, then you have to repopulate the border areas. That is why they are building so many villages along the Indo-Tibetan border. Now, India also has to take similar steps, and I can see that India is taking those steps. It's not easy to build infrastructure on the Himalayas. It costs a lot of money, it takes a lot of time. And China, it's very easy. They just order something, रास्ता में जो भी हो उसको तोड़ दो, बना देते हैं. But India, to acquire land itself, it takes time, sometimes. So these are small, small obstacles I'm sure the government is facing. But now I have never seen Tibet. मैं तिब्बती हूँ मगर तिब्बत कभी देखा नहीं मैंने. I was born in South India. So मैं अपने emotional need को कभी इसको just to fulfill my emotional need, I go on the border areas to see Tibet from the border, from the fence. So I've been to Ladakh, I've been to Bumla, I've been to Lachin Lachung in Gangtok, I've been to Tuting. So all those are there. So India is not the same as India of 1962. India has grown. India has become a big man in Asia, and China cannot think that they can always contain India. This is not possible now.
And what to the netas, your message to these politicians here, who keep on criticizing government for?
Politicians may have different, because the opposition's job is to oppose. So for the sake of opposition, I don't agree. But if you have constructive criticism, I think it's always welcome in democracy. But I cannot pinpoint any leaders, because I am no I have no responsibility. I have no command over the Indian administration. So it's up to the Indian leadership. But I believe that Indian leadership has taken a very strong position that unless there is disengagement from all sectors where Chinese have intruded, there will be no more normalization of relations. And also with regard to China, since 2010, Indian government has not been reiterating the statement that Tibet is part of PRC. I remember at that time the government took the position that if India has to accept the one China policy, then China should also accept one India policy. So India is standing its ground, and that is where the respect comes.